Let's get into it. We said Larry Csonka is drinking.
Oh.
At least he is posting about drinking here. Pop the champagne.
Cheers, baby.
We have
There
no
they
more
are.
undefeated team.
Look at that.
That can't be a current picture of tonight, right? They didn't just all assemble. Like they whipped out the bat signal. They go, guys, the 49ers are down.
I don't think so. I don't know how many of those guys are actually still alive, too. That would be another thing. Sorry for the negative ghostwriter or the negativity there. I questioned all those things. But either way, he's letting you know like he does every year.
Yes.
He usually puts out a picture of him opening up a champagne bottle or he's pouring champagne. And he should. It's a special thing for his career, his teammates, his friends to go undefeated in the NFL.
What was it, 51 years ago now?
Right, in 1972. Right,
so Miami
1972.
Dolphins last undefeated
Went
team.
to the Super Bowl 3 years in a row. They lost 71, perfect in 72, won in 73, right? And one of the greatest teams we've ever seen in the sport. We know there's only been one team that's really threatened them, and that was the 2007 Patriots. Today, they get to celebrate a little early. They get a little Halloween early gift here. Now they can just chill and watch ball.
Pete is telling me that picture was from 1980, so no, that was not from tonight. Actually, he didn't say that, but it did kind of look like it might have been from 1980. So let's go through the two teams that lost. So I guess who wins that DraftKings bet that we had, right? Like who? I guess the 49ers lost first, but that's because they played earlier. Is that a push? Because it's probably the game week, right? It's not the time of day.
I would think it's the week. It's not actually the time of the day, right? That wouldn't be fair to the bettors there. But it certainly didn't I will say this flat out. When I heard Deshaun Watson wasn't playing, I was pretty much like, well, chalk it up. The 49ers are going to win the football game. I didn't think it was going to be easy. I did not that. Like, I wasn't like, oh, wow, they're not going to steamroll them. I mean, the Browns, as we know, the D is real, right? Jim Schwartz is smart and creative. They can run the football, so they can stay on the field and chew up a little clock that way, which we know is always big for the team that's the underdog in these type of matchups. But, the game was a little bit shocking.
Yeah.
I mean, it really was.
So let's start. Let's start right there with the Browns defeating the 49ers 19-17. We'll get to the Eagles here in a second. They could have won this game, right? Jake Moody, the rookie kicker, they drafted in the third round.
No doubt.
Missed a 41-yarder. I'm a little upset at the conservative. I'm never a fan of settling for 40-plus yard field goals,
right? Especially
with a rookie kicker on the road in a stadium that both kickers were having trouble making some field goals there. And so maybe you can get into that later, but continue with your point and your big takeaway from this
Well, just off that right away, I think around the NFL, 41 yards now is looked at as like a chip shot.
I get it.
Right? But I understand this. Obviously, it's not. And we saw a number of 37 and 38-yard field goals and 41-yard field goals missed today. So, maybe that'll make Shanahan rethink a little bit as far as that's concerned there. But I had no problem with that. I think, the big thing is, early on in the football game, I think the Niners had a chance to really put the Browns maybe in some tough spots to make them hey, you got to throw to come back on us. The first drive was really good. There was 30 yards and penalties by the Browns defense. Second drive, I think that was after the P.J. Walker throws a bad interception. The 49ers miss a field goal, okay? They stop Cleveland, get the ball back, go down for a field goal drive, and look impressive doing it again. 11-play, 76-yard drive. And you're going, well, this is just going to be kind of these slow, ugly, beat down here. As when I looked at that point, I was like, oh, we're headed towards a 23-10, 23-9 type of football game, right? But around that moment, it totally switched. The Browns go on a big drive, 5-play touchdown drive, and it was all set up by a huge pass to Amari Cooper down the left-hand sideline. Lenoir, the corner for the 49ers, slipped and fell down. And I'm telling you, it almost felt like from that point on, the game changed a little bit. At least the momentum, or maybe the belief from the Browns. Maybe that's what I should say. And from there on out, I mean, they pitched a shutout on the 49ers offense for the most part. I know the 49ers scored in the second half on the one-play, 8-yard drive after the turnover, right?
Lenoir interception.
Huge
mistake. I mean, the Browns were up by 3 at that point.
Right.
We're in the fourth quarter.
Right.
That switched the game once again. And that was a situation where the Browns could have been like, oh, crap. We did just
it looked like, again, I thought that was going to be another moment. Like, oh, well, there they blew the opportunity. The 49ers are going to put this away and see you later, right? But the theme of the day is that the Browns defense just absolutely squashed the 49ers offense from about the end of the second quarter on. For a little perspective, the 49ers had 189 yards of total offense going into the half. They ended the game with 215. So they had 26 yards of offense in the second half. Kyle Shanahan and the all-star offense of the 49ers. And I don't say that to be demeaning. I'm saying that more that, like, the Browns should be proud of what they did. Now, some of the injuries played, I think, in part to the 49ers offensive struggles.
McCaffrey was out. Debo was out early.
Trent Williams was out for a little while.
Did come back in, but you're right.
Yeah, so that messes up your flow, your rhythm as a play caller, right? But I think the big thing is it was the first team all year that I felt like matched the physicality of the 49ers, all right? That would be the first thing I would say. Where I went, damn, they are not backing down, and they're throwing their bodies around every bit as equally crazy as the 49ers. Yeah. The other thing that I think jumped out to me more than anything, too, is they stopped the run game. And as you always know, when I wax poetically about the 49ers and their offense, all the Shanahan, I call them Shanahan specials, right? The trick plays, the screens, the reverses, the speed sweeps, the toss to Deebo Samuel, all those things, they were non-existent in this game. They basically made the game like, no, Brock Purdy, you're going to have to drop back and pass to beat us. We're not going to let all these other tricks like kind of work on us today. And, of course, their pass rush was annoying to Purdy, and they have two really good corners down the field to make life hard and not give you a lot of open looks there. And, that to me was the big theme of the game, let alone their offense just being able to stay on the field, first downs, and chew up some clock. It was a well-played team football game, altogether by the Browns.
Yeah, so in totality, how do we assess this performance from Brock Purdy in this one? 12 of 27, a 44% completion percentage, down those weapons, as we mentioned already.
Right.
125 yards, had the touchdown, had the interception. But if Jake Moody makes that field goal, he led a game-winning drive at the end of the game. As you see, the final drive, he was 3 of 7, 42 yards. The elements were not perfect for a quarterback. How do we come away from this game thinking about their quarterback?
Well, he's still really good. He struggled today. And he struggled, one, because a little bit of what you just heard me say, like some of those screens and boots and people are wide open, they give you the little rhythm for the day, a confidence. We always talk about basketball players. They see the ball go through the hoop once, and all of a sudden they start to go, I'm hot, I'm on fire. Give me the ball, right? And you're like, wait, that was a layup. Like, it wasn't a big deal. You're like, no, 30 feet away, boom, right? And it's the same thing for a quarterback at times. You get a few throws here or there. It doesn't matter how difficult they are. You walk away, and even if you threw 3 screens, and you go, damn, I'm 3 for 3 for 55 yards. Okay, it takes a little pressure. It takes a little edge. Makes things feel better for you. That never happened. The run game never happened. So then the play action pass was not nearly as effective as we've seen in games past with them. I think the thing is with Brock Purdy, he's still really good. We know that. There was comparisons this all week to him and Tom Brady. Like, calm the down, everybody. Like, come on. Yeah. Okay? He's a good player. There's no doubt about that.
Record-wise.
Right. Yeah. He's a good player. But by no stretch of the imagination is he ready to carry the team like a superstar quarterback and be like, hey, guys, I know it's not working today, right? We talk about this all the time with certain guys. I know we're injured and it's not working, and don't worry, I got it, right? He's not ready for that. He's not. I don't know if he'll ever be that. But he needs a little system help and stuff.
For sure.
When he starts to really click and do things good is when, hey, we're rolling and you give me all these plays and I can remember all the things Shanahan taught us, like we talk about all the time, and he slowly starts to pick you apart here. But this was a game that the offense and the system didn't deliver as much. And then, it's still, he's good at getting out of the pocket usually and all that too, but with this pass rush, they were around him today.
Yeah.
And then I do think the last thing here, and this is the most important, the elements bothered him. And the elements I think bothered both quarterbacks for a little while, so I'm not trying to point him out here. But I think there were some throws, especially in the second quarter, that were missed because it was wet, it was raining, it was cold, it was windy. And you could see the way the ball squirted out of his hand a few times where you went, oh, man, that didn't come out clean, right? He was having a problem controlling. So I think all those things played into it. And then as we always know, this is where people got to get used to the NFL. And the human emotions, right? The 49ers feel like we're the greatest thing in the world. We beat the Cowboys. We're the best. The Browns are going into the game going, shit, we got the 49ers coming to the game and we don't have Deshaun Watson. We have to play our best, right? And then people got to realize too, you get a bunch of grown men who already think they're the shit, right? Like I'm the man. I can do anything, right? Mm-hmm. And you rally them together for the week and hey, we got to play good. You can get the group to believe when, especially the talent gap in the NFL is never that different, right? And I think the Browns just put an unbelievable effort. And I was shocked even with their offense running the ball to the capacity it did today, too.
Yeah, and we should definitely give the Browns credit for all that they did in this one, because I think that this defense is proving to us that if they are not, top one in the league, I mean, they're in the conversation for
best team in the football. Yeah, best team in
football.
No doubt. I think the one thing we've hit on that only reason little size and depth on their D-line. Those have been our two concerns. And as the game started out today, I was a little bit like, oh, man, the Browns are going to get worn down here. But they hung in there. They really did. And I think Schwartz, I'm excited to watch that film, had some creative things in his game plan that took away, I think, some of the bread and butter plays that Shanahan did. And the 49ers were sloppy. They weren't good on third downs. We talked about Purdy missing the ball. They had a ton of penalties, right? And, they had the fight, I think, brought to them for the first time all year.
Still maybe almost won it, though, with a missed field goal at the end and a controversial
That's how good they are.
pass interference penalty on Gibson there,
too. Some tough penalties at the end of that last field goal drive by the Browns. You had the Gibson, unnecessary roughness hit, which he didn't look like he hit the guy in the head. So I don't think that should have been called.
Maybe was bordering on defenseless receiver.
I know. I think defenseless receiver, though, you still got to hit him in the head. I think so. I do. And then the pass interference, I think that was on Lenore late in the game, right? Okay. I had no problem with that. He held the guy coming out of the break. It wasn't the worst hold I've ever seen, but I could live with that. Either way, big win for the Browns, and they're 3-2, and watch out for them. There's no doubt. If Watson gets back and their pass game gets going, they got a lot of pieces to be a dangerous team in the AFC.
And the 49ers undefeated no more.
Yo, what up, homies? Thanks for watching. Remember, subscribe to Chris Simms Unbuttoned. Right now, we got Sunday Pod, right? So you can have it Monday morning. We recap all the action. Wednesday, it's the What the Happened podcast. We're going to get deep in the weeds on the key matchups of the week. And then Thursday, I'm picking games with that jerk Floria. So you know where to find us, homies. Keep watching. Peace out. We'll see you.